Hello and welcome to Three Questions With. Got my longtime friend Matt Mercier with us from Acapella Technologies. Hello, Matt. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. It's nice to be here. I always love our visits.
So, Matt, I asked you to come on the show today because I want to talk about security. And really, where the conversation's starting is the balance. So, I remember being at the bank and having a firewall, and you're trying to block everything, Matt. And then people are like, but Kev, I can't do my job because you've blocked literally everything. Where's the line, Matt? How do you stay safe while still letting people function?
Boy, that's a difficult call, right? We have a couple of schools that we work with, and they had a very enterprising student crack the firewall and searching on the things your mother doesn't want you searching on, right? So the answer that day was to lock down everything,
Yep.
all websites, no web surfing, and then we had to whitelist, educational websites one by one,
Yep.
and we'd have to whitelist 15 or 20 a day until we had them all whitelisted. And now it's just a dribble, one or two a week maybe. But so that's one alternative, right? The other is to you just there's always a balance to be struck, and companies have to decide where the line is. Where are you indeed blocking everything that could be dangerous, or are you being lenient in a few areas that your employees ask for? It's really, as we've spoken about in the past, the people are just the weakest link. You can harden your network just as much as you can, and then people are, if they're given the opportunity, people will click on something or squawk about the security measures you're taking. It's tough with having people.
But Matt, some of these are just so good. You look at it and go, that looks legitimate, and I do bank at Bank of X, so
Yep.
like, oh God, and then you click it and now you're in trouble.
Well, we have some tools that we represent that are actually training tools for employees. So they quite literally they take a test at the beginning of the year, and it's a longer test. It's like a 20-minute video with 20 questions that follow, and then they take a weekly micro quiz that talks about a little piece of information about what to watch for. Float your mouse over the links and see if they look like something that there's a whole, and those trainings are really quite good. It's a 2-minute video and 4 questions. And then there's with that there's like a FICO score. Each individual has a score, and it rolls up to a corporate score. That's really the only way that I'm aware of to, without putting things at risk, to help people learn to be watchful and oriented toward the work of evildoers. It's unfortunate, but they're there.
That is now, because one of the schools I work at, they said something out, and I clicked it, and I get this message: you would have been hacked. And then when they sent it the second time, I sent them back a nasty message going, all right, I fell for it last time, guys, thanks, but you taught me not to do that, with a smiley face. And I got a message back going, hey, thanks for making us all laugh. But just like, all right, but sometimes, like you said, you're busy, you're like, oh my God, Matt's in trouble. It's a message from Matt. He's my friend. I got to get him out of trouble. They play on our weaknesses, and sometimes we get in trouble because I want to make sure my friend Matt's okay.
I've heard stories about very high value targets where they'll literally put a PI on you and follow you around, and if you've got Save the Trees or Hug the Trees they'll start sending messages that will appeal to your personal tendency.
It was crazy and stuff. But Matt, what do you do when you have that person, maybe the president of the company, who's like, hey, IT people, stop bothering me. I want to look at any site I want to. Because look at this card. It says, I am CEO.
Yep. Well, unfortunately, you don't have a lot of sway over that, right? He or she can do whatever they want, but then hopefully you get a chance to hold them accountable when indeed they do, because it's not a matter of if they're going to get a spam, a phishing attempt. It's just when. If they're not paying attention, they're again, they're the weakest link, particularly if they're not willing to be educated.
But this is where we need to make sure we have the malware, the antivirus, all this in place, right?
Yeah, I mean, those things help a little bit, right? In fact, there's it used to be that antivirus products, or still the lower tier antivirus products, are based on rules. So they gather rules, and these, these sites are no good, or these rules are in place. The newer, more sophisticated tools have sort of behavioral behavioral component to them. So if a site looks like this, or acts like this, or has this piece of code in it that's not necessarily specific to a malware site, but it looks bad, they'll take action. They'll swing into action. It's a little bit, it's simplifying it a little. There's AI working on the backside, and so it's not just look for this, look for this, look for that. It's a little more sophisticated that way, and as you might expect, more expensive.
Yep. But that leads us to the next question. It's, as a non-tech person, Matt, it is overwhelming, all the options that are out there. Okay, I watched this video, Matt mentioned I should have these things. You Google it, and there's a bazillion options.
Right.
Now, can you work with people, helping them develop that strategy? Okay, this is how you put the rules in place. This is the product that you need to stay safe. Can you help people with that?
We can. And one of the things that we've, again, if you want to say to somebody, here are the products that you need to make you completely safe, they'll say things like, oh, I don't want multi-factor authentication. Well, you should, but I can't make you, or you should buy this more sophisticated anti-malware product, but I can't make you. So we will work with folks to come up with a cost-effective, not wildly inconvenient solution that keeps them as protected as they're willing to be.
Yep. I like that. I just want to know the risk I'm taking. Like you said, everyone has a budget. Maybe that's not in my budget. Hey, I made you aware of it. The cost, the risk. You got to decide what's right for your business.
Well, that's it.
The answer, right?
You just need to make a smart decision, and we will be more emphatic about some things and less emphatic about others. That I had that very conversation this morning with a would-be client. We don't have a budget for all of these things. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's take these 3 things and put them into phase 2, but these 3 things are the most important and will protect you the most vigorously. And as such, I can't yield on these, but I'll give you 6 months to get a budget together for these.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense. So, Matt, if people have questions, they need advice, what's the best way to reach out to you?
My email address is matt@acapella.com, Matt with 2 T's, ACAPELLA. And needless to say, our phone number is 603-647-1784. Love to talk with you, answer your questions, no strings attached.
Matt, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes to call into the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Always my pleasure. Thank you.